Hey guys, this is going to be a little bit different video from the kinds that I usually make. I'm really not going to talk about any particular machine or implement or anything like that, and we're really not doing any work. But it's going to kind of be a shop tour. I've been doing some work out here. I got a bunch of my porcelain signs hung up, just kind of, decorate the place a little bit, make it a little bit better backdrop for some of the videos that I do when I'm out here. And also because I just like looking at them. And most of these are reproductions because the authentic porcelain signs are very expensive. And I'm cheap, so there's that. But we'll take a good look around at everything, and I'll kind of talk about why I like some of these and some of the good aspects of them, the subject matter, the nice color, stuff like that. So we'll go through one by one, just kind of check them out, and hopefully you guys like them as much as I do. Okay guys, you're probably all used to this view here of the bench, the drill press, air compressor. I usually have the cherry picker here in front of the garage door. You've seen it from this angle quite a bit. We'll start over here in the corner by the shelf where we have Fink's Detroit Special Overalls. I kind of like this sign mainly because of the pig that's on it. They wear like a pig's nose. And kind of another reason why I like this is because the logo like that would just fly like right over the head of the average millennial. They would have no idea why something would wear like a pig's nose. The way they rut around in the dirt and the top of their nose is just kind of like a huge callus, but they say try a pair because the man who thinks invests in Finks. Really neat sign, like the red in it too. Then over here above the toolbox, the big Silent Chief gasoline. Just some nice color in that one. He's got his battle axe and his sword and everything, striking a pose. Neat old sign. Then above the window I put the Avio motor oil, a product of Midwest Oil Company, and you'll see it's kind of, early 1930s, looks like a race car, early airplane, just kind of a neat sign. This is going to kind of be the red, white, and blue wall. You'll see that. A lot of these signs share those colors here. Next one here is the Ocean Liner motor oil. 3,000 miles of lubrication. And that's kind of interesting because back in the day that was quite the selling point. Nowadays manufacturers are extending that out to 7,500 miles or more, but back in the day 3,000 mile oil change intervals was pretty darn good. Pours freely below zero, excellent in hot weather, paraffin quality, and just kind of a neat old passenger ocean liner airplane in flight there. Good detail on that one. Above the other window, Ace High motor oil, master lubrication. 100% pure Pennsylvania oil. And it's another one that's got very early, like a 1920s, 30s race car, very early airplane. And I like the number 3 on the front of the race car. Kind of my favorite number anyway. Again, just another nice sign. And then over the bench, where I do a lot of my Minneapolis Moline videos, put the Blue Crown spark plug sign. This is one of the first porcelain signs I ever bought. Turn the light off here, see if we can get rid of some of the glare. But like I say, this is one of the first porcelain signs I ever bought. Just kind of a nice sign. It's got a nice blue in it, catalyzed electrodes at the bottom, 20% longer life, 17% more efficiency, air cooled, showing the knurling around the base of the plug. They were really selling it up back in the day. Get more pep, save gas, all that stuff. But kind of a nice sign. They did a nice combination of light and dark, kind of give it some depth. And of course the electrode is sparking. Really like it. Like I say, one of the first signs I ever got, and I knew I wanted that over one of my benches someday. So that's that one. Coming over here, vintage wavy Caterpillar logo. And I also like this one because it's just kind of cartoonish in a way, but one of the early selling points of the Caterpillar tractor was how it kind of moves along like a caterpillar, and it's the early wavy logo, and you can kind of imagine the way a caterpillar would ride up one side of a hill and then crest over the top and then go down and then kind of tip back up again and go over the hill again and tip back down on the other side. And one of their selling points of course was enhanced traction over all types of terrain. And you look at the bottoms of the caterpillar letters and they look like they're kind of a bunch of feet, like a caterpillar would have, all gripping the ground. And it's just a very interesting logo. And of course I'm a little bit biased because I have more vintage Caterpillar pieces of equipment than anything else, but always loved that old wavy Caterpillar logo. And there's kind of some nice color to it, a lot of red. And you'll see in this corner here we get into a lot of red. Next to the Caterpillar sign is the Stanovo aviation engine oil. And not much going on in this sign, kind of plain, but speaking of plain, is it a bird, is it a plane? You be the judge. Whatever it is, it's in mid-flight. But kind of a neat old engine oil sign. Next to that, some more red in this one. Old X-side batteries. When it's an X-side, you start. Another very old 20s, 30s vintage car. Zooming away. Even the letters look like they're moving. I really like how they advertise things like that back in the day. Next to that, oak motor oil. Another sign with a lot of good color. The red and the green. I like how they kind of replicated the bark texture in the oak lettering. So with that green, I put the Pennsylvania vacuum cup tires sign right next to it, which has a lot of green in it, but I'm kind of transitioning here from one color into another. And I don't know if they ever made tires that actually had those vacuum cup looking things on them, but I assume they did. Just kind of another interesting vintage advertisement. Below that, the New Idea farm equipment kind of starts to incorporate a little bit of orange. Good colors in this sign. Sales and service. I like this part down here. Invention, leadership, quality. Everybody was pretty proud of their brand back in the day. They weren't afraid to show it. So blending the green into some more orange and now some yellow, the old Sunray oils. Natural power. Nice color in that sign. Kind of an octagon shape. And down here I put the genuine Ford mechanic on the premises porcelain sign on the wall. I got this shortly after I started working at the Ford dealership, and that's been close to 20 years ago now. I was just a kid when I picked this one up, but I always kind of liked this one. Kind of neat with the blue against the green, white lettering. Nice little sign. And then above that, kind of blending more into some yellow now, the Cool Motor oil. Refill with Cool Motor, the perfect Pennsylvania oil. It's got city service, Cool Motor, the perfect Pennsylvania motor oil, plus 5 advantages that add life to your car. If it's city service, it has to be good. And again, kind of the 1930s style automobiles on there. Really like it. And right here, centered over the door, is my big Caterpillar farm tractor sign. And this one is quite heavy. It's, I bet, in excess of 40 pounds. But it is double-sided. Of course, the way I have it positioned here, you're only going to see one side. But I knew I wanted to put that one in a place of prominence because I like my Caterpillar tractors. So decided that right above the door was where it was going to go. Next to it, McCormick Deering Farmall, International Harvester Company. Kind of a little bit of a yellow to kind of go with the Caterpillar sign. And then up there, Rosie the Riveter. She is the prettiest girl I ever saw. But it just kind of, I like that sign. I like that we can do it. You know, they don't call them the greatest generation for nothing. They pulled off a lot of incredible things. A lot of men and women put in a lot of effort and a lot of sacrifice to get us through that time. So I was definitely going to put that one up in a place of prominence. I know that. And we have the Archer lubricant sign for better lubrication. And this is some subject matter that may offend some people now. Back in the day, it was just fine. But it's a nice looking sign, good color in it. Decided I wanted to put it right next to the door here. It kind of fits in well with everything else. Then the workbench, kind of got a bare spot up over here. That's because I'm going to put some pegboard up there. So I didn't really want to fill that up. But the Bucyrus Erie sign fits really well up there. And that's, I think, the only actual vintage sign I have out here. It came off of an old shovel. And really neat old sign. And I like that old earth moving equipment. So Bucyrus Erie fits in just fine. And we have this sign here. I like this one too. Union Oil Company gasoline. It's got the 76 man. And he's running out to put gas in your car. You know, that's back when service with a smile was a real important thing. You know, virtually every gas station anymore is all self-serve. And if you're going to pay with anything except a card, if you want to try and pay with cash, most of them make you prepay before they'll even turn the pump on for you anyway. So this just kind of, to me, harkens back to a time when, you know, things were just better all the way around. But 76 man running out to service your automobile. Way up top is a very early Ford Universal Car logo on a reproduction sign. Right under that, Johnson Gasoline time tells. I like the wings that are coming off the hourglass there. Below that, authorized Ford service, kind of along the Ford Motor Company theme from working at the dealership for so many years. Globe battery station, sales and service. Don't know much about Globe batteries, never really heard of them other than this sign. Just kind of liked how it looked. Way up top there, International Harvester McCormick Deering, the old Circle C trademark, farm machines. Below that, Pendrake Motor Oil. First oil well in the United States, Titusville, Pennsylvania, 1859. 100% pure Pennsylvania oil. It's got the old oil derrick on there with the Drake sign on it. So that goes back quite a ways. And of course, Minneapolis Moline Modern Machinery. I kind of have a soft spot for Molines. And right under that I put the 1940s, early 50s era Caterpillar sign. That was no accident that the Caterpillar sign ended up underneath the Minneapolis Moline because of the prototype crawler over here, X253. That's a Minneapolis Moline on a Caterpillar undercarriage. So figured over here on this wall I'd put Minneapolis Moline on top of Caterpillar. So that was no accident there. But then the reproduction of the very early John Deere farm implements sign with the deer jumping over the log just had enough yellow in it that it went well with Caterpillar, so that's where that ended up. And that pretty much brings us full circle back to Finks. So there you've seen them all. Guys, I hope you liked the tour. Hope I didn't bore you too bad, but that's kind of, you know, I like all these signs. I like each one of them for a different reason, and I just like looking at them. So if you like vintage things like this, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I usually do a lot of stuff that is kind of from this era. Really like these old signs. Really like antique stuff in general. You know, and like I say, everything from yesteryear just seems to be way better than it is now. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Go ahead and leave some comments. Hit the like button if you like what you see. And I hope to see you back next time.